Hey guys, it's Nihongo Johnny. Minasan konnichiwa, Nihongo Johnny desu. How is everyone doing today? Today, I personally have a little bit of a headache, so I'm really happy to be doing a story reading today, where we could just kind of be really calm and quiet while we listen to a creepy story. Today's story is called School at Night, or in Japanese, Gakkou no Kaidan. In Japanese, Gakkou means school, and Kaidan is a type of ghost story that people tell to each other. So let's get into this story. And if you would like to, at this point, definitely pause the video, get some tea or a snack, and let's all enjoy this together. School at Night is a very scary Japanese urban legend. It is about schools that are supposed to be haunted because they were built on top of old cemeteries. They call it Gakkou no Kaidan, or school ghost stories. These urban legends are sometimes known as the Seven Wonders of School. Years ago in Japan, there was an urgent need for new schools. There were rumors that the government needed to find cheap land which they could build the schools, so they built them on the sites of old cemeteries. This gave rise to rumors and gossip among kids that their schools were haunted. They say that if you go to your school at midnight, you will see many strange things, like a candle floating across the school grounds, disembodied footsteps echoing down the halls, and statues with eyes that follow you as you pass by. In the science room, the anatomical skeleton comes alive. You hear the sound of an invisible ball bouncing in the gym, and you might even see a ghostly severed head flying around the classrooms. If you walk across the schoolyard, ghostly hands will emerge from below you and try to drag you down. If you dig on the school grounds, you will unearth headstones and tombs. If you go swimming in the pool, ghostly hands will grab your legs and try to drown you. Old buildings appear on the school grounds, and there are staircases that lead to nowhere. If you walk up them, you will disappear. They say that one stall in the toilets is haunted, and if you enter it, a rope will fall down from the ceiling, and it will be in the shape of a noose. In one small town in Japan, there was a group of teenage boys who had heard the rumors of their school. According to this legend, if you went to the school at midnight, on the 15th day of the month, strange things would happen. There was a statue that stood on the path leading up to the school, and its eyes would supposedly follow you as you passed by. If you walked up the main stairs, the number of steps would be different than when you walked back down. If you turned on the taps in the science laboratory, blood would come flowing out instead of water. And if anyone dared to enter the last stall in the toilet, that person would never be seen alive again. The boys decided to go to school at night to test out the legends and see if they were true or if they were just stories. On the 15th day of the month, they sneaked out of their houses exactly at midnight. There were 4 of them all together: Shinichi, Mikio, Takashi, and Hiro. As they walked through the school gates and up the path, the boys stared at the statue. The eyes of the statue were looking to the left, and even as the boys passed by, the eyes did not move 1 inch. So much for that stupid legend, the boys chuckled. They entered the school building and cautiously went up the stairs. They counted each step. 1, 2, 3. Ich, ni, san. There were 13 steps in total. When they walked back down, there were still 13 steps. Another old wives' tale, one of the boys said. They made their way down the corridor to the science laboratory, and they turned on all the taps. Instead of blood that came gushing out, it was merely water. They let out a disappointed sigh. "I knew it," one of the boys said. "We came here in vain." They decided to test out one more legend before they went home, and they went to the toilets on the ground floor. However, when they came to the door of the toilets, a few of the boys lost their nerve. Although they had excitedly talked about it, none of them seemed in a hurry to enter the haunted stall. Finally, one boy, Shinichi, stepped forward, and he told the others he was not afraid of anything. He pushed open the door and went into the toilet. His friends waited outside. The boys looked at the clock. It was exactly 1 a.m. A minute later, Shinichi came out of the toilet with a grin on his face. "Nothing," he said. "It's all just a bunch of kid stories and fairy tales." The boys laughed and walked away. When they came out of the school, they walked back down the path. And before leaving, they looked one last time at the statue. But its eyes were still looking left. "What a letdown," one of the boys whispered. The next morning, the boys received a worried phone call from Shinichi's mother. "Was Shinichi with you last night?" she demanded. "He wasn't there when I checked his room this morning. He sneaked out, and he still hasn't come home. Where is he?" The boys felt something was wrong. In the end, they decided to tell their parents about the little trip they had taken the night before. Their parents contacted the school principal, and soon, the adults, the kids, and the principal were gathering outside the school. "What are you saying?" the principal asked. "You're talking about the statue outside of the school, right? The eyes of that statue have always looked right. But when we were here last night, they were looking to the left," one of the boys exclaimed. Entering the gate, they were all shocked to see that the eyes of the statue were indeed looking right. "But what about the steps on the main staircase?" one of the boys cried. They all ran quickly to the staircase and counted the steps. 1, 2, 3, 12? "Yes," the school principal said. "That staircase has always had 12 steps. When it was being built, the architects made a mistake in that design. It was supposed to have 13 steps." "That's impossible!" one of the boys shouted. "But what about the taps in the lab?" Entering the science laboratory, they all looked at the sinks. Each one was caked with a dark red stain. The boys were numb with fear. But what about Shinichi?" one of the boys mumbled. "He went into the toilet." "Let's go and see," the principal said in a grave voice. They all gathered outside the toilets. The boys and their parents looked at each other nervously. The principal took a deep breath and reached out and pushed open the door. Shinichi's mother let out a blood-curdling scream and fainted. The others recoiled in horror. Some of them could not help but vomit all over the floor. The dead body of their friend, Shinichi, was hanging. He was hanging from the ceiling with a rope around his neck. His face was deathly pale, and his eyes were wide open, frozen, in a look of horror. His throat had been cut from ear to ear, and the blood had been drained from his body, covering the floor in a pool of dark red. His internal organs and intestines had been removed. They were sitting in a neat pile in the toilet. One of the boys was in a daze. He was staring, unblinking. He saw the watch on Shinichi's wrist. It had stopped at exactly 1 a.m. That story really gave me the chills. I definitely think this was an outstanding ghost story. What do you guys think? Do you believe it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you haven't yet, please definitely hit subscribe and hit that bell for more notifications. And I'll see you guys in the next night of the 31 Nights of Halloween.